Okay, so we're on chapter 6, and we're going to talk about the engage questions, and then you'll read the rest of the chapter, and I think there's only one other question at that point. So respond to the objection that intelligent design is not science. How would you answer that? Yes.
I'd say that if intelligent design isn't science, then neither is Darwinism, because both of them are trying to figure out what happened in the past, and origin questions require forensic principles, which uses science.
Right. Yes, that's a really good answer. I'm going to add one other thing. What did the book say science is? A search for causes. So if science is a search for causes, there's more cause to believe in intelligent design than spontaneous generation, right? So if intelligent design isn't science, then neither is Darwinism, because they're both looking at the same thing. So they just come up with two different answers. Number 2, respond to the objection that intelligent design commits the God in the gaps fallacy. So let's stop here. And what is the God in the gaps fallacy? Yes, Josh.
The God in the gaps fallacy is this belief that anytime you're trying to use God as a creator, you're explaining it for something that natural phenomena can explain, and so you're just giving it another cause, like the lightning bolt, like a lightning bolt coming down. Some people could say that came directly from God, or some people could say that came from a series of electrical charges in weather patterns in the air.
Yeah. So whenever you don't understand something, it's just God. Okay. So respond to that, because the atheistic scientists accuse ID scientists of using the God in the gaps fallacy. So how is it that isn't the case? They aren't using the God in the gaps. Yes.
Because when you look at things like cells,
You said a little bit louder.
when we look at things like cells that make up living organisms, you can see like the design complexity in it. So it's not just something that like the weather made, like Josh said, lightning, but it shows design, which would then require an intelligent design.
Right. If there is a design, right, there's a designer. That doesn't happen by accident. Accidents disorder. Accidents don't order, right? So I'm going to read what I wrote down here. So it's not that we don't understand, so we say the answer is God. We do understand, and we do have empirical scientific evidence. And also, intelligent design scientists are open to natural and intelligent causes. But that's not true for the atheists, right? They're only interested in natural causes. So the other thing is, and I think the book made a point of this, intelligent design is falsifiable. In other words, it could be proven false. But Darwinism isn't, because they won't allow it to be disputed at all. In some sense, the Darwinists are putting something in the gaps, and that is Darwinism in the gaps. Respond to the objection that intelligent design is religiously motivated. They only believe intelligent design because they believe there is a God. Yes, John.
Intelligent design has been observed by both creationists and atheists alike. Think of the theory of panspermia. That doesn't rely on any kind of religion, but it just gives us scientific evidence for intelligent design. Even people like Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein have found evidence that there had to be some sort of intelligent design. It's just that doesn't always have to be religious.
Right. So intelligent design is based on science. It's not based on faith. It happens to line up with their faith, but they're using the evidence, as Josh said, and going where the evidence goes. So it's based on science, not faith, even though they happen to be people of faith. And then this is a really important statement. Their findings, the findings, are consistent with the Bible, but are not based on the Bible. And that's a very important statement to understand. The findings are consistent with the Bible, but not based on the Bible. Okay, number 4. Respond to the objection that intelligent design is false because the so-called design isn't perfect. Yes.
That just because it's not designed in the way that you do this idea doesn't mean that it wasn't designed to do what it was designed to do.
Right. And they talk about the panda's thumb, right? And it's just this little thing sticking out that seems like it shouldn't be there. But that is what allows the koala, right, the panda, to strip bamboo, and that's their main source of food. So there is a reason for that projection that they don't try to understand or realize, or they do realize. They just say, yeah, that's from evolution. And as Aviana said, it doesn't have to be perfect design, right? What was the name of that car? The Gremlin. You don't remember this. There was this car called a Gremlin in the 70s, 80s, and it was a little teeny thing, and there were all kinds of problems with them. And if they got hit from behind, some of them exploded into flame. And I mean, it was awful. You don't see any Gremlins around anymore because you're taking your life in your hands, both in the fact that it is a teeny tiny car and flimsy at that. But it was, even so, it was designed. It wasn't perfectly designed. It wasn't even well designed, but that doesn't mean there wasn't design. Does that make sense? So the design doesn't have to be perfect to be a design. And I believe that God has made everything exactly as He thinks it should be. So I don't think He makes something like a gremlin in nature. But just because we can't understand what He was thinking doesn't mean He didn't design it. And we can't understand what He's thinking because He's eternal and all-knowing, and we are not. And they're also, when they say this God in the gaps fallacy, they're presuming that they know the mind of God, why God, and how God designed. But no one can know the mind of God. It tells us that in the Psalms. Okay, so you can review the summary and the conclusion. There's nothing you need to ask or answer about that. You'll have your quiz on Tuesday, and then for today, you're going to finish reading the chapter and that is pages 161 to 167. And then there's one more equip question, equip 10. So you're going to do that. And then once you're done with that, you're ready to prepare for the quiz.